From WFRV Local 5, your local election headquarters. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Well, we are a few weeks away from the spring general election, and one of the bigger races in our area is who is going to replace Don Merkes as mayor of Menasha. On last week's show, we talked with candidate Austin Hammond, and this week we are proud to join Alderperson of Menasha, Rebecca Nichols, also running for that seat. Rebecca, good morning. Good to have you here today.
Good morning, Tom. Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the campaign in the mayor's office, a little background on Rebecca Nichols. Where is she from, your education, and your political background?
Well, thank you for the question. My story begins in on the other side of Lake Winnebago in rural Chilton. I grew up in a place where every little town had a supper club, a church, and a bar.
Oh, yes.
It's a little different today, but that's where I, first learned about what work and service look like. My dad had an oil delivery truck, and some of my earliest memories are riding around in the truck with him. And so he visited farms, businesses, and residents across the countryside. And after he delivered their oil, there was always a conversation with the customer. And I had the privilege of listening to many of those conversations, whether through the truck window or at a kitchen table. And when I think back to those days, I think what I learned from my dad is the importance of listening to people and also making them feel like their voice matters.
Education. Where did you go to school?
I am a proud graduate of UW Oshkosh.
Okay.
I earned my teaching degree there, and as soon as I finished, I went right to work in public schools. My husband and I married at St. Mary's Church in Menasha in 2005, and so we are quickly approaching 20 years together. He is born and raised Menasha, and you can trust me when I say he's not going anywhere. So we're there to stay. Together we have two children that both attend Menasha schools, and so we are really rooted in the community. It wasn't after our first child was born, I made the decision to leave teaching for a while, stayed home to raise my kids, and it was during that time that I really grew my roots in the community. I got involved in Doty Island Development Council, which is a neighborhood group, one of the oldest in the region. Joined the board, became vice president and president for a few years. Joined the library board in Menasha, and that's really what ignited my interest in local government. And I was elected to the city council in 2013, and so I've been serving there for the last 11 years. And I'm really excited about this opportunity to run and become Menasha's next mayor.
So you are running for mayor. It's often said that people do things either out of inspiration or desperation. Are you running for mayor through inspiration, where you think you can make a difference in Menasha, or desperation? Did you see something in the city that you didn't like, that you thought you could do better and turn it around?
I'm running because of inspiration. I've served for 11 years now, and during that time and my 20 years in the community, I've had the privilege of getting to know a lot of people, to listen to their stories, and to understand Menasha. And it's really over the last these last 4 years that folks have reached out to me and said, Becky, have you ever considered running for mayor? We think that you would be a great mayor. And so after long, thoughtful consideration, and with myself and my family, because we all have to be in it to win it, it doesn't work otherwise, I decided to run.
Now, you mentioned husband and kids living in Menasha. Why did you choose Menasha? You probably could have located anywhere.
Well, not according to my husband.
Okay.
He's born and raised Menasha. And in fact, he had already bought a house before we were even married, so there was no question that I was going to live in Menasha. And like I said, you know, we thought about it over the weekend, and we realized that our kids would be third-generation graduates of Menasha High School, and that's something that we as a family are really proud of. So we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere.
All right, UW Oshkosh graduate with a music degree, music education.
Yes, I was a music teacher in the public schools.
Quite the jump now from music education to a public school teacher to politics. What, after you graduated with the music degree, what did you do with the degree?
Well, I went to teach. I landed in Pittsville, Wisconsin, the geographic center of Wisconsin, a very small rural community. And I taught there for 3 or 4 years. And then what drew me back to Menasha, of course, was my fiance at the time. And when I came to Menasha, I taught in Menasha schools for a few more years as a music teacher and as a substitute teacher. And then decided to leave for a while. And you know, life takes you on interesting journeys, and my experiences in the community is really what's led me here. I also, during that time, I took some courses. I enrolled in a leadership development course, so to speak, through UW Extension. It was a program called Leadership Wisconsin. And that took me to different parts of the state, the country, and even the world, where we really dove into how governments and communities deal with changing economies. And you know, I found that very applicable to the times that we live in, and it made me start thinking about things that we could do in Menasha, that could be possible in Menasha.
That started the thought. We have much more to come after this, the Menasha Mayor's Race. Stay with us with Rebecca Nichols. Back now with Rebecca Nichols, who is running for Menasha Mayor. You've been serving on Menasha City Council for the past better part of a decade. Are you satisfied with the way council operates? I mean, do you run into roadblocks there, or do you have a general agreement on most of the issues that the council faces?
You know, a lot happens over 10 years, 11 years now, and overall, you know, I'm really happy with the progress that Menasha's made. You know, having lived there 20 years, I know where Menasha's been and what we've been through and what we've accomplished over that time. And I'm proud to say that I've played a big part in those efforts. And over the years, I've learned a lot about working with people, the importance of listening to and understanding what others are saying, and using that information to help build consensus with my colleagues on the Common Council. And
from what you've seen in all that time on Common Council, what are some of the biggest issues facing Menasha in your view?
Well, for issues that, I guess, do you mean issues that I'm focused on or things that I've accomplished?
Okay, issues that you're focused on first.
Well, issues that I'm focused on in this race include responsible spending, neighborhoods, and working together. For responsible spending, you know, I have 11 years experience on the Common Council. That's 11 budgets that I've analyzed and voted on, budgets that provide services that residents expect and deserve while holding the line on taxes. And I'll continue to work with city staff to keep costs down and provide the services that residents expect and deserve.
You've served on several committees. What kind of committees were you on? What have you done there?
I've been very involved during my time on the council. 11 years on the city council, of course, and I'm wrapping up 2 years on the Winnebago County Board.
On the board, yes.
Yes, and so that has really helped inform me about how cities and counties can work together to improve quality of life for residents. I've been on the Redevelopment Authority for a long time. At least it's over 5 years now. I've served on the city's Plan Commission, the Neenah-Menasha Fire Rescue Joint Finance and Personnel Committee. I've been on the Menasha Public Library Board of Trustees, Administration Committee Chair for 11 years. Vice Chair of the Personnel Committee, served on the Protocol Committee, and in the community as well. I'm a member of the Menasha Education Fund. I've served on Doty Island Development Council. I'm a board member on the Valley Academy for the Arts in Neenah. And I also served on the Menasha Joint School District Visioning Committee, and also was part of the interview process for the new superintendent.
Okay, now having served on city council and now alderperson, member of the board of the Winnebago County Board, does that give you a unique perspective that you can see it from both sides?
I think it does. What it's done is, first of all, it's taught me a lot about county government, and even though I have so much experience on city council, there was still quite a learning curve when it came to county board. But the thing that I've realized and sort of identified through that process is built some relationships at the county level that can help with city issues, and so it's been an overall a rewarding experience. I don't think that I can be mayor and a county board member, though.
Right.
That would be an awful lot.
Right. County and city, are the issues that you deal with that different?
Sometimes they are, because the county is more a conduit of state funds and programs and the county funnels money from the state to the city. And so yes, there are differences.
Rebecca Nichols is our guest this morning, running for Menasha mayor. We have much more to come with her right after this, so please stay with us. We are back talking with Rebecca Nichols, who is running for Menasha mayor. Let's touch on your accomplishments over your long service in Menasha. What have you done?
Well, a lot happens over 11 years. And first and foremost, I'm most proud of Menasha for being one of the first communities in Wisconsin to completely remove lead from our water system. And I was instrumental in getting that work done and making sure that we provided assistance to folks that needed it to help pay for those improvements. I'm proud of the work. It was a real collaborative effort between myself, the City Council, and Menasha Utilities in getting that work done. Another thing that I'm really proud of is reopening Shepherd Park on the west side of Doty Island. When I was first elected, that's my district, that park was closed, and it was just an overgrown green space, a neighborhood without a park. And so I took it upon myself to work hard to get that park reopened as part of the Loop the Lake project that connected Neenah and Menasha. And later this spring, we will be installing a playground there, which will complete the process. And so I'm really proud of the work there. I've been part of the downtown revitalization efforts, particularly the One Menasha Center, which was sort of the piece of the puzzle that really started the revitalization efforts that are going on down there. Jefferson Park is seeing a lot of improvements, and that was an issue where I really used my consensus building skills to bring agreement between the City Council and the Park Board on a plan to move forward, so that we could begin construction and know what the project was going to entail. I think there's still some unfinished business there because we need a new pool for residents.
Okay.
And lastly, I'm really proud of the work on the Racine Street Bridge. I am the only council member who has seen the Racine Street Bridge project from its beginning, just a concept all the way to completion. And so I have the knowledge, a little bit of knowledge and understanding of what it will take to maintain that bridge and the things budgetarily that Menasha will need to take care of in the future.
I notice on your website you call yourself a committed neighborhood advocate. What do you mean by that?
You know, much of my work has been centered in neighborhoods and improving the quality of life in neighborhoods during my 20 years in Menasha, starting with my experience and involvement in Doty Island Development Council. That neighborhood organization focuses on improving the quality of life in neighborhoods. We talked about removing lead from Menasha's water system. That's something that impacts almost, our oldest neighborhoods in Menasha. And so that really improved the lives of so many people in Menasha. And reopening park and the focus on parks and green spaces and accessibility for folks really makes a difference in all of our neighborhoods.
If you are elected, I take it you seem to know where you want to go with certain things, but would there be a temptation to reach back to Mayor Don Merkes for advice?
Mayor Merkes has been a great mayor for Menasha. I mean, when he first got elected, our city was in a financial crisis in 2016 with the steam plant, 2008, sorry, with the steam plant. And I've seen, how that was dealt with and how far we've come in these last 16 years. And I'm proud to have been a part of that. I'm really looking forward to focusing on more efforts on our neighborhoods, to strengthen neighborhoods, to provide the opportunities for more and better places to live for folks in Menasha. That's something that I've been hearing about over 11 years. And I hear it from our largest employers as well, that there's a real need for more and better options for people in all stages of life in Menasha.
We're going to talk about housing as we wrap up with Rebecca Nichols right after this, so please stay with us. We are back to wrap up our conversation with Menasha mayoral candidate Rebecca Nichols. Rebecca, the Bryn Housing Project downtown, what's happening with that?
Well, we're excited to wrap that project up. It's been going on for a few years now. Right. And, it was a sad day for the community to see the old Bryn burn down. And so we're sort of seeing this new one rise from the ashes again, which is exciting. And it will certainly provide opportunities for more folks to live in the downtown area and for more businesses as well.
There is talk of possibly building a new police station separate from the fire station. Your views on that?
Well, first let me say that I'm really proud of our police department, and I know that they work hard every day to keep Menasha safe. Our community has grown exponentially over the last 10 years with an entire new neighborhood east of Oneida Street that wasn't there 10 years ago. And but our police department remains the same size that it was before that. And so I think there are some questions about whether or not we have the correct level of service for the size of our community. And there are conversations going on about that, along with, do we have adequate space to house our police department? And so I look forward to those conversations and presenting a solid argument to the community in the future, working with the police department to make that happen.
The east side of your city seems to be the growth area. What's happening there? Are we looking at housing there?
Well, actually, the east side is mostly filled up. Okay. There are some commercial properties left available for building and perhaps mixed use. There's some residential developments happening on the east side, some developments planned. And so that area is quickly filling up with residential properties. And I see our opportunities in the older parts of the city to find properties that can be improved and repurposed, and then engage our private sector partners, our schools, our labor unions, to create job training and workforce opportunities that can bring new folks, people, families to Menasha, build that strong, stable tax base for the future.
All right, Rebecca, I've got 30 seconds for you to make the elevator pitch to Menasha voters as to why you should be the next mayor.
All right, it's an exciting time, Tom. We're going to elect a new mayor for the first time in 16 years. And I think that I am the best candidate for that job because of my experience, my commitment to the community, and my record of responsiveness to residents over the years. Experience matters when we talk about a $50 million budget. And experience matters when we talk about Menasha's future. I've been around long enough to know where we've been as a community and how far we've come. I want Menasha to be the place that my kids decide to raise their families eventually. And so I just ask for people to consider those things and vote for me on April 2nd because Menasha deserves an experienced, committed, and responsive person to be our next mayor.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Tom.
Much appreciated. And we will see you next Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on Newsmaker Sunday. Until then, have a great day.